So now I'm going to get into the aspect of codependence. As I've talked about before, if you have not watched it, you need to watch it. My video on the 2 codependent personality types. It is critical. Sadly, the way almost everybody teaches codependence is they lump it into this one general bucket, and that leaves people the impression of a whiny, spineless, weak person. That's one side of the dynamic, but there's another side of the dynamic. There are 2 subtypes. Pia Melody is the only one I've ever heard who's ever separated them, and here's why it's important. The most successful people on this planet are that, and they look like narcissists, okay? Now, I'm not saying that there aren't successful people that are narcissistic, but what we consider as successful people in our culture are actually severe codependents, what's called a falsely empowered codependent. And they look and sound just like a narcissist in many ways, all right? They are arrogant, they're grandiose, they're invulnerable, they're anti-dependent, they're perfectionists, walled off, and controlling. This is the CEO, the lawyer, the banker, the finance guy, the social media star, the actor, the actress. You know, this is what we're really training women to become, all of these things. Anti-dependent, I can do it by myself, I'm the boss bitch, we're training women to become falsely empowered, not truly empowered. And we see, again, this is what we promote as health. Well, no, this is severe codependence, because they're seeking other esteem through their career, social status, and achievements. Wow, sounds a lot like a narcissist. They also minimize or deny their own feelings and see feelings as a weakness. Sounds like a narcissist, how they gaslight, right? They lack empathy or interest in other people's feelings. That's because a falsely empowered codependent is so over-invested in achieving what's called outside pursuits or other esteem. They want to achieve, and so their career and their hobbies are their main focus. And so they can't have empathy for you because it's all about them and achievement. I need your approval, just like the narcissist, to validate, oh, look, he lives in the house, he has this title, he has that car, dating that woman, oh my God, he's got it all. That's what he's after. Well, it sounds a lot like a narcissist, all right? They will label, judge, and criticize others persistently. They use sex and money and intellect and charm or gifts to manipulate, control, and have power over other people. This is codependence. This isn't narcissism, all right? They'll be indifferent, authoritative, or use rage to control people. They try to control and shape other people's thoughts, feelings, and actions. Sounds a lot like a narcissist, all right? They avoid emotional, physical, intellectual, and sexual intimacy to keep control and distance. See, I don't have to be vulnerable, because their ultimate fear is vulnerability and connection and intimacy, all right? That's in part what created their false empowerment, all right? They'll use illness, addiction, and outside hobbies and interests to avoid their reality, that, because they're detached from how codependent they are. They think they've got it all together. I don't need help, I'm good, I don't have issues. No, you're the problem. A lot like a narcissist. That you do this to avoid reality and intimacy. They will deny their childhood trauma, and they'll see their childhood as perfect. Like, well, yeah, no, my parents were great, no problems at all. Much like a narcissist, all right? They rarely admit their mistakes. But now, sorry, I skipped ahead, I got too excited. So, do you see how the falsely empowered codependent looks and sounds just like a narcissist, all right? Many of us have narcissistic moments or things that look narcissistic, but they're actually falsely empowered codependents. And so here's the picture I want you to have in mind. A narcissist is like the desert. A falsely empowered codependent is like Denver, Colorado. Think of the desert. It is almost always hot. It is always filled with sand. The landscape is almost always the same. Not much change to the clouds or the sky. It is rare that there's rain. It is rare that there's clouds. It is rare that there's any change at all. That's a narcissist. Their behavior is consistent. Every once in a while, there might be a dip. The falsely empowered codependent may have seasons like Denver. Winter in Denver is 7, 8 months long. When I lived there, it's pretty long. Or well, it's probably more 6 months. That's a long period of time. That might look like narcissism. But then spring pops, and my God, spring in Denver is fantastic. But it still has the most violent storms in Denver happen in the spring. Looks a lot like narcissism. The heaviest snowfall is in the spring, not in the winter. Oh my God, he's a narcissist. No. They're just having a highly reactive, falsely codependent experience. After a long period of a consistent, now it's just spiked. Now they're dumping more snow. But then that gives way to summer, a bit of a calm. It's pretty, it's relaxing, the breezes come through. Now it's just afternoon thunderstorms. But you get July, and July, it's basically sunny for a full month, no rain, nothing. It's this, do you see what I'm getting at? Again, the 3 things you're looking for when you want to diagnose the difference between a narcissist and a falsely empowered codependent are awareness, addiction, and consistency. Okay? Those are the 3 main factors that you're looking for. I urge you, please, educate yourself on codependence through Pia Melody. This is where, and see, a narcissist wouldn't do this. This is where I go, gosh, how do I say this? That's not falsely empowered. That's not demeaning. That doesn't sound narcissistic and like I'm shaming other people and I'm better and all of that. Did you see how I paused? Right there is the internal battle I'm having of the falsely empowered wanting to state something, the disempowered feeling tremendous shame and going, where's the middle? Where's moderation? How can I express myself where I don't transfer my codependence, my shame, my low self-esteem onto you? How can I find a way to say this moderately and maturely in between my dysfunctions? Okay?